Yo, it's your boy Orion, one half of the Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. So today we are going to go over NFL best fits for remaining free agents, free agency news, some updates. I missed you guys. It's been a few days. There's been a lot of things that have happened in the last few days. So hop in the room and join your boy. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy either on here or through patreon.com/NWSF. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on our YouTube page. I hope everyone is having a good Wednesday. We're halfway through the week. We're getting kind of closer and closer. I don't want to say closer and closer to this coronavirus thing ending. I mean, I'm hoping that at some point, we can get a little bit of closure with all of this. Right now, they're showing the Steelers and the Seahawks a past Super Bowl matchup. They showed Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Raiders last night, and I stayed up pretty late to watch that to kind of, rekindle some of those great memories that I had from, back in the day. Michael Pierpont is in the building. Yo, what it do? Hello. He said, what's up? He said, Ajulu Sid. Ajulu Sid. Is that like kind of like a Street Fighter there? Michael Pierpont prayers, he says to Kat's mom. I know that is really crazy at this point, when you're starting to see more of the players, moms, dads, grandparents, and even people that you may know that are getting affected, by COVID-19 and everything that's going on. Lenny D is in the building. What's up, Orion? We're setting up our defense to be top 10 this season, and that's big facts. A lot of big moves, a lot of things have happened in the last few days, so I'm going to go over kind of just what's been going kind of on with the NFL. I apologize. I have not been able to put out a video in the last couple days. The girlfriend has been sick, not feeling well. So, I let her sleep and try to get some rest. Jason Smith in the building, what it do? So I figured, I'll be able to hop on for about, maybe 30 minutes to an hour just to kind of discuss what you guys think, maybe best fits are. And like I said, I can only go so long before really missing you guys. And I think about, the channel and talking with you guys every day. And it just sometimes, if there's things going on personally, or if somebody's sick, then obviously we got to kind of adjust the schedules. Ryan Schrick in the building. He said, we livin'. Mike Pinnell is back. Now bring back Chris Jones. Chris Jones. So let's go over some of the news in the last couple days so to get everyone kind of caught up. I know everyone's been caught up already, but they haven't been caught up with your boy, Orion. One half of the Northwest Sports Fanatics, Odin's Child. He said, what up, big dog? How are you, man? My man? I know things have been kind of crazy all over the country. Hopefully things are going good. Just to give you guys a little bit of an update with how things are going, at my work. Right now, doing another warehouse job at kind of like a fish and tackle type of warehouse, and so I'm still working, I'm still through the temp agency, so I'm still doing that blue collar work. I'm walking a lot, but I'm not having to lift heavy tires out in the cold. I'm not having to lift up, 50 to 100 pound mattresses. So things are good now. Things are more fishing poles, tackle, lures, a lot of walking still involved, but it's a little bit more my wheelhouse. My legs hurt, my knees hurt, my feet hurt every day, but at least I'm still able to be able to work. Odin's Child, he said, I'm good. Good to hear, man. Appreciate you guys. So before we get into some of the best fits for the remaining free agents, as well as free agency news and what's been happening, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy either on here or through patreon.com/NWSF. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on our YouTube page. CeeDee Lamb to the Cowboys. I don't really see him going to the Cowboys. He's going to go much earlier than that. It's going to either be Jerry Jeudy or CeeDee Lamb. That's going to probably go within the first, 14 picks. But I'm not really thinking the Cowboys are needing a wide receiver. If you're looking at wide receiver, you're not going to really want to address that till maybe the second or third round. Safety is going to be a lot more important for the Cowboys as well as a few other positions, in my opinion. You know what I mean? It just depends if you trade up, you trade back. Don Terry Poe became a cowgirl. I saw that. He said, I just hope Howie just drafts 2 receivers back to back, as Drake would say. And there's a possibility. I mean, there's a lot of movement that has happened recently. So, and the secondary for the Eagles is looking good. And that's the thing I love, because I can always count on Chiefs fans to be in the building. I can always count on Chiefs Kingdom in the building. I can always count on, Fly Eagles Fly in the building, Michael Pierpont, Lenny D, and the rest. Young Nola in the building from the New Orleans Saints. So I always can count on the certain fan bases to be able to kind of hop in. Cowboys, they also got Gerald McCoy. So it's crazy. They're trying to beef up their defense. Everyone in the NFC East trying to kind of battle it out. So let's go over just kind of the things that have been happening within the last few days. Calvin Griffin, New Orleans Saints, what to do? Emmanuel Sanders, God, I'm jealous. I know I was live, a few days back when it broke towards the end of my live stream. Ooh, Big Ben, nice throw, nice catch on NFL Network right now. Hines Ward with the grab. First down, Steelers. We got Steelers. We got Seahawks. Super Bowl XL on NFL Network. I hope everyone's doing great. I hope everyone is doing fantastic. Everyone is, either homebound, they got the cabin fever, or they might be working, kind of like me. I'm still trying to get the money in and the work in through the temp agency. So there's a reason why I haven't been able to do, some of the live streams here the last couple days. Definitely been really tired, drained, sleeping, not on purpose, but just, with all that physical labor that I'm not used to. I'm normally in a desk job, but I had to be able to hop on and say hello because I missed you guys. You guys are the best fans on YouTube, and we need to go over some sports. I mean, there's a lot of different programs you can watch on MLB Network. They had the Cubs World Series against the Indians Game 7 last night. I was watching that. Obviously, had the Buccaneers and the Raiders from Super Bowl 37 on yesterday. So you got to, have a little bit here and there. But, your boy misses you, and we can go over a lot of the info. Hamler or Shenault? I like Ruggs. If you want Shenault, that would be a nice, pickup, too. I've watched his whole career, on Colorado. Very underrated. Kind of got banged up. If he would have went in last year's draft, the year before, definitely had a little bit better of a season, but I think he would be a great fit. But Ruggs, to me, is the ideal fit for the Eagles fans at this point. Who do you think the best free agent is left right now in free agency? Cam Newton. I think that's pretty hands down. Cam Newton or Jadeveon Clowney. I mean, there's still a lot of other pieces, that can make noise and can make moves. It just really depends on, where they go, who's available. Obviously, Everson Griffin is another one that I really love. I would take him in a heartbeat. And there's other OG guys that people aren't talking about. Jason Peters, Carlos Hyde. There's guys that could still make a little bit of movement, make a little bit of splash, depending on what team they go to. So Trent Williams' agent says it's time for the Redskins to trade or release his client. I mean, aren't we over this? I know Marcus is. Tracy in the building. Falcons need corners. They need a lot more than corners, but definitely they need corners. That's one of the pieces that they need. Odin Childs has been watching a lot of old NHL. Yeah, you got to. You got to be able to watch something here and there. Tess, the best moderator in the business. Go black and gold. Who dat? You dat. Appreciate you guys. Hope everyone is, again, having a fantastic Wednesday. Thank you for coming in and joining your boy. And again, it's your boy Ryan, one half of the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that fucking like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy either on here or through patreon.com/NWSF. Or you can even donate to the GoFundMe. We had a nice $50 donation yesterday on the GoFundMe, which is great. So I think that's up to about $65. We got a long ways to go. We're trying to hit a big number, $5 to $10 grand to get the studio up and running. But it's just great to be able to see people contribute $5, $10, $50, whatever it is. Fuck the ops in the building, what it do. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on our YouTube page. So Trent Williams, I mean, is that saga going to be over with? I'm already done with it. He needs to go on. Saints rework the deal. New Orleans Saints with corner Janoris Jenkins. So Saints fans, what do you think? You save about $6 or $7 million in cap space. I like the move, because he's not like a Eli Apple. This guy actually still has some game left in his career. He's not a liability, playing the guarding game, the tackling game. I really felt that Eli Apple and, as we know, Andrews Pete, I ended up getting, that extension, getting that long-term deal. I was a bit head-scratcher with that move. But I do like the Janoris Jenkins deal. The Saints worked out a new contract agreement with corner Janoris Jenkins, formerly of the Giants. That will save the team about $6 to $7 million in salary cap, which is great, to keep the ninth-year veterans in Nolens for a second season. And that'll give them more time to be able to get some chemistry with the rest of the defense. But the Von Bell move, moving on to, I believe, the Bengals. I miss him already, and I'm a Bucks fan. So seeing a guy that was one of the staples in the business, Odin's Child, $20. Thank you so much for getting it popping and getting it started off. It made me kind of hurt a little bit because, I'm a Bucks fan, but I'm a fan of the NFL. So when I see a player, not as good as Cameron Jordan, not as good as Demario Davis, but the guy on the back end that no one really talked about as much except for maybe NFC South fans, right? Your boy Ryan, maybe Saints fans, but seeing Von Bell go, it hurt me a little bit. I know it's the NFL as a business. I get it, but it is what it is. So, it is what it is based off the money. Jenkins is 31. He's scheduled to earn $11.25 million in the final year of his contract after the Saints claimed him off waivers from the Giants in December. So at least you're going to keep some of the pieces there. You're going to be able to make some adjustments. But, if you had a trade-off between Emmanuel Sanders, right, and then Von Bell, obviously you can always look at other positions in the draft and other people that are maybe still available in free agency. The Panthers obviously released Cam Newton. So as we know with Cam Newton, as you saw, on the thumbnail, Cam Newton is still available. Jameis Winston is still available. Is that really a big surprise for either of us? The Panthers let Cam Newton go, Super Cam, right? He's no longer with the team. Carolina agreed to a 3-year, $63 million deal with Teddy Bridgewater, Teddy Two Gloves. So I know Panthers fans, you lost Luke Kuechly. You ended up losing Cam Newton. You made some moves. You got Teddy B in there. You got Coach Rule. We're not really sure what the Panthers' identity is. Besides handing the ball off to run CMC about fucking 40 times a game, we can all come to an agreement as NFC South fans, whether me be a Buccaneer fan, all the Nolens Saints fans in the building, the occasional Falcon fan that hops in the chat or hops in the room, right? But the Panthers fans, I think they feel a little lost right now. They kind of feel like how maybe I felt for a few years, and maybe like the Falcons fan, the Falcons fan base. You just don't really know where you're going or what you're going to look like. But I do know Teddy Two Gloves isn't going to turn the ball over, but it's just going to be weird to be able to see Cam Newton, in a different jersey, a different uniform. Tess, the GoFundMe, shouting it out. I appreciate that. Young Nola, one of my good buddies on the channel. Always appreciate your grinding in the remix game. He said, who do you think we're getting in the draft? Pick a wide receiver. Like I told you, remember on the list when we always communicate with each other, Nola, I give you a list about 4 or 5 different guys. You already got Emmanuel Sanders. So, if you're really looking at, need, you obviously Von Bell's gone, so you're looking for a need at safety. You don't necessarily need another wide receiver because you got Emmanuel Sanders. You can obviously do it for depth and get someone else, but getting another offensive lineman to protect Breeze would be in your best interest as Saints fans, and in my best interest as me being a scout. There's other holes to fill where you don't necessarily have to go for a wide receiver, in the first round. Since you got Emmanuel Sanders, he's equal like 2 first-rounders. His talent level, even though he's an OG, triple OG, you guys have not had, a peanut butter to a jelly. You know what I mean? A Michael Thomas and then that other guy. You had Jared Cook, but that's a tight end. So Calvin Griffin, knocked it right on the head, right guard. That's where I would be looking at. I would be looking at, Andrews Pete's position. I'd be looking at, on the offensive line first, and then maybe on the defense. You can always get a good quality wide receiver deeper in this draft. First round, second round, third round. There'll be a few sleepers there. So as far as Cam Newton is concerned, where would be a good fit that, where we could see him playing? The Chargers, obviously with their scheme and their new uniforms. The Buccaneers released some new uniforms, but they didn't show them to the public today. Chris Godwin, Levante David, and Devin White got to check them out. I retweeted it. So I'm excited. I got brand new uniforms. I got Tom Brady. Ndamukong Suh signed today, 1-year deal, $8 million. So I know Saints fans, you guys are excited with Emmanuel Sanders, but there is definitely going to be a little bit more competition this season, I feel in the NFC South in years past, I don't feel that I'm going to dominate the division. I don't feel that I'm going to go to the NFC Championship game or go to the Super Bowl or anything crazy like that. But I think this is the first time that you're going to see the Buccaneers be competitive. The Falcons, we don't really know what they're going to be. Realistically, probably fourth in the NFC South unless some crazy shit happens based off injuries, the draft, free agency. I just don't see them going any higher than third. And if they go third, that means something really bad happened, in free agency in the first month of the season with Teddy Two Gloves, Run CMC, maybe tears an ACL. I mean, I just don't really see the Falcons getting third, second, or first, but you never know. I mean, the NFL is a crazy place, but the Chargers would be a good place for Cam Newton. The Patriots would be a good place for Cam Newton, but also you got to feel that it just depends on if these guys are looking for a quarterback in the draft. The Patriots, Cam isn't really the quote-unquote New England type of quarterback, but he could be with Josh McDaniels and Bill Belichick. I mean, unless you want to just go with Stidham and see where it goes and then maybe try to go for Trevor Lawrence. Maybe that's what they're thinking. They're going to go all in next year and try to get the next Tom Brady, who could be Trevor Lawrence under that system. I mean, I just don't really know, where it's going to go. We're going to have to kind of wait and see. As far as the Chargers are concerned, I feel Justin Herbert is more of a fit. But you never know. I mean, I feel if Cam Newton was going to go to the Chargers, they would have already got the deal done. So if you're looking at like the Dolphins, you're looking at the Chargers, you're looking at certain teams, the Bengals. To me, that those three, are going for young. Someone to start their franchise off. Burrow, Tua, Herbert, someone to have the face of the franchise. But where does that leave Cam Newton? Where does that leave Jameis Winston? Jameis Winston, Pittsburgh Steelers? I mean, that could be an option, but I'm not sure if Jameis Winston really is a starting quarterback at this point. You may have to throw him on a team that already has a starting QB and have him be the backup. I know, as crazy as that sounds, you don't really know. Jordan Love could be another guy that makes a name for himself, but for me, he's more of a project QB, compared to the other three. Jordan Love has got some kind of Patrick Mahomes-ish qualities. Justin Herbert has got Phillip Rivers-ish qualities, except he needs to work on the accuracy, and that's Herbert's kind of downfall. Tua, it's the injuries and the legs and the hip and how he can hold up. And then Burrow, he had one solid season, an amazing season, an incredible season of the LSU Tigers, something that we've never seen before. But it's not like he did it, for 2 or 3 years. And as we know, in the NFL, the great ones, they play 12, 15, 20 years, sometimes at quarterback. A lot of these younger guys, are starting to retire at 30. Megatron and, Kuechly, you're starting to see these guys kind of retire earlier and earlier. So we're going to have to kind of see where it goes. What will happen with Antonio Brown? You know what? I know a lot of people talk shit about Antonio Brown. I'm kind of praying for him. I hope that he gets his mind right, his chickens right. I hope he gets his mentals right. As your boy, Beast Mode, would say, Marshawn Lynch, because I'm not sure he had the wrong person in his ear, if he's, on drugs or drinking or just like delusional. But I hope he gets the right help, and I'd love to be able to see him back in the league. I don't necessarily need him on Tampa Bay with Tom Brady. I know there's rumors, of that, but I don't want to fuck up any chemistry, with the team and what's going on. But I mean, imagine this AB, Antonio Brown, fly like a butterfly, sting like AB. He was one of the best wide receivers, right, for about 3, 4, 5 years straight. I mean, it was him, and then you had Julio, and then Odell, and a few other guys. DeAndre Hopkins was right there, right next to him. It was pretty much, if you think about it, for a few years before Michael Thomas came up and is the player that he is now, it was AB number 1, DeAndre Hopkins number 2, or you could flip-flop those, Julio 3, and then there was a few other guys climbing up the ladder, going up and down, Mike Evans, Odell Beckham, there was a Keenan Allen, and then obviously Michael Thomas burst on the scene, and now we're seeing that Michael Thomas is the best wide receiver in the game right now, today. Dez Bryant to the Cowboys or Skins? Neither. I think he should just, hang it up. I know he's trying. I know that he has the passion to still play the game. But at this point, I don't know if there's a team that's going to be calling for him. And then Burrow, Calvin Griffin says, one-hit wonder. I know you're a Bama fan, so that's why you're saying that, even though you're a Saints fan as well. I'm not sure if he's a one-hit wonder. I hope he's not, in the NFL, because we need strong pieces to go to the NFL to be able to carry our league after Phillip Rivers goes, Tom Brady goes, Drew Brees goes. Some of these, Ben Roethlisberger goes. I need to see Burrow. I need to see Tua. I need to see Herbert, and then Trevor Lawrence next year. I want to see some success out of these guys. He said, not why I'm saying it. I know, though. You know what I mean? He did have one good season, and obviously with the coordinator, that made a big deal of, his success. But we'll see if he can translate his success as far as going from LSU to the Bengals, if that's where he's going to go. He's going to Cincinnati. He ain't going to be shit there. Yeah, and I think so too. Maybe not his fault, though. They have no O-line, no running backs, wide receivers get injured all the time. Eifert's gone. The defense is very suspect. They don't have a whole lot to work with, so he's going to really have to carry, a lot of the team on his shoulders, and that is kind of a recipe for disaster, if you ask me. Let's see here. Cornerback Rashaan Melvin signs a 1-year deal with the Jags. Seahawks added wide receiver Philip Dorsett yesterday on a 1-year deal. I was hoping that he was going to come to Tampa Bay. Brady, Dorsett, they have that kind of connection, so we'll see where that goes. But that still gives Russell Wilson another target with DK Metcalf and obviously some of the other nice pieces like Tyler Lockett. Let's see here. Tom Brady says Patriots' exit was very emotional. I bet it was. I'm excited, though, to be able to grab him. Yes, he's old, but if you look at my pieces and the team that I'm surrounding him with, there is a good chance to make a little bit of noise, and that's all I want to do is be respectable and make some noise. Running back Peyton Barber, formerly in my team, signs a 2-year deal with the Skins worth $3 million. I don't really know what Marcus thinks of that. He's not a guy that can start for you. He's a guy that could be, a situational, throw him in once in a while kind of back. So I don't really know where I'm going to be looking, hopefully in the draft for a running back to get someone solid. But I'm not going to miss him. You know what I mean? I'm not going to miss him. I got Rojo still, but I need help. Rojo can't be the starter either. I need someone better. Who do I think that the Lions should draft? That's pretty simple. Okudah. You got to get the best corner in the draft. That's a no-brainer. You already lost, big play Slay to the Eagles, right? So you got to make sure you clean that up. The only way that you wouldn't go Okudah if for some weird reason, I'm trying to think of any kind of scenario if you're trading back to get picks and you want to accumulate more. But I feel, Okudah is going to be someone that you need. You have a need there. You're going to have to replace big play Slay. It's going to be hard to do, but Okudah is nice, and he could be like the Stephon Gilmore Jr., kind of coming in. Panthers add Robbie Anderson, so they get their deep threat, but Cam's not there anymore, so we're going to have to see if Teddy Two Gloves and Robbie Anderson can end up getting some nice chemistry together. Bengals signed former Ravens linebacker Josh Bynes. Chargers add Nick Vigil for linebacker depth. Green Bay signs Devin Funchess. So it's interesting to see with Funchess. He's kind of had an up and down career. I don't really know what you're going to get from him on that team. So we're going to have to kind of see what that does. But also with Funchess being up and down in his career, you do have Aaron Rodgers, right? So you're going to have some new breed, new blood throwing the football to you. So his stats should go up this season. Jets add Brashad Perriman. After losing wide receiver Robbie Anderson to the Panthers, the Jets reacted quickly, agreeing to a 1-year contract to Brashad Perriman. Agent Drew Rosenhaus said, I'm not going to miss him. I don't really care. Jaguars signed veteran Tyler Eifert to bolster the tight end corps. The Jags, they don't really have a whole lot there, and Eifert gets hurt, so who knows if he can even last half a season. I doubt it. Chiefs re-signing and D-tackle Mike Peno and fullback Anthony Sherman, the Shermanator. I like those moves. The Chiefs, to me right now, if you're going over like power rankings, you guys might have seen some of the new videos based off power rankings. I definitely have. The Chiefs at the top. You got the Niners up there. I don't have my Bucks in the top 5. I'm not stupid. You know what I mean? Obviously, I like the moves that I've been able to make. Guys I've been able to keep like Sue. But there's a lot of nice talent. The Ravens look nice with the additions they've made with Calais Campbell. It's kind of the Saints look nice with Emmanuel Sanders. So it's going to be one of those things. There's going to be a few similar teams that dominated from last year. Saints, Niners look like maybe the cream of the crop. There'll be a few other teams that are going to be dominating as we go into obviously preseason week 1 and obviously regular season week 1, and the same similar teams like the Chiefs and the Ravens towards the top, but there'll be a few others that are going to be up there too, because there always is, going from the bottom to the top, going from third to first, third to second. Sherman's nickname is Sausage. OBJ might be staying. Yeah, I'm not sure if I really believe in OBJ at all. And don't forget, the Panthers signed P.J. Walker from the XFL. And if you remembered, I mean, if you saw him, I mean, he was in the NFL before. You know what I mean? So it's not like, he was a guy that just came out of nowhere. He does have some experience on the bench, but the way that he played, he definitely earned at least a backup spot to show what he can do. But the XFL and the NFL, let's be real, are two totally different things. Two totally different levels of football. They're both enjoyable to watch, but there is a difference there. Marcus Mariota from my Oregon Ducks says he's Derek Carr's backup. For how long? For how long? It depends on if, they keep both of them, if they try to ship Carr out of there. I mean, Carr's one of those guys, I kind of feel sorry for him. He's kind of like that Josh Rosen. It's like, where are you going? Are you going to get traded to Miami? Is Miami going to go for a young QB? They obviously have their eyes on Herbert or Tua. The Chargers have their eyes on Herbert. Bengals have their eye on Burrow. We're going to have to kind of see where it goes if they keep both of those guys on the Raiders. But Mariota and Carr, as far as a 1-2, both of them aren't great, right? But both of them are average, you could say, sometimes above average. And I'm being kind. You know what I mean? They're not good quarterbacks. And Marcus Mariota won the Heisman. He's from my Oregon Ducks, so I'm not delusional, right? But they've been average. Marcus Mariota's stats have been better than Carr's to me overall for his career, right? His touchdown to interception ratio, but the injuries and the confidence have definitely taken a toll on him. And I think Raiders fans in Vegas would rather go with Mariota, right? With, John Gruden kind of leading the way, with Mayock and the whole, franchise. I think Carr and the fan base, they don't really like him anymore, and they're ready to kind of move on. Let's see here. Seahawks making an effort to boost the pass rush with or without Clowney. I know Clowney said that he wanted to go to a contender, but a lot of rumors are saying Jets. They're not a contender. That's one of the worst teams in the fucking league. But if you want to pair yourself up with C.J. Mosley and Jamal Adams, I get it. But as far as doing anything in the league, I mean, there's not a whole lot there. I mean, personally, do you guys think that the Jets are going to be good? I mean, Jamal Adams is my favorite safety in the league, not named Derwin James, but I just don't know if there's anything really there for that roster. I mean, they to me, they haven't really done a whole lot. They're going to be bad. To me, I don't really see any type of hope with them, personally. Vikings reach a 1-year deal with wide receiver Tajay Sharp. We saw him do some damage on the Titans in, preseason a few years ago, kind of make a name for himself. Just hasn't really got enough playing time to be the man. Cowboys add Blake Bell for tight end depth. So the Cowboys making moves. Nickel Roby Coleman and the Eagles reach a 1-year deal. I really like what the Eagles have been doing in free agency. They've been really beefing up the secondary. They've been beefing up the defense, obviously with Big Play Slay as well. So they're definitely, I even said before free agency started, that was the best team in the NFC East. And me breaking down tape, me breaking down articles, me going to Bleacher, me going to the team website, even before the moves on the defense were made, and before this draft comes up, if they end up getting Ruggs, which I'm hoping, to be able to see the Eagles really have Carson Wentz and Goddard, so bad it hurts Zach Ertz, and all the pieces at the wide receiver position. I really do like how he's doing. They're not able to get every single piece in free agency, but remember, not all pieces in free agency work out or pan out. So I know that they're going to be able to do some nice things in the draft too. The Rams definitely need a running back. I mean, they have some pieces there already. The ones that they rolled with last year, over Todd Gurley. Malcolm Brown is one of them. Fly, Eagles, fly. Don Shingo in the building from Germany as I'm talking about the Eagles. But I already said this from the beginning. I ain't no dummy. I do all the research. I do really love what the Eagles are doing, the Chiefs. And it's kind of ironic because a lot of fans that hop in the chat that talk to me on a daily basis or very often, Saints fans should be number one in the NFC South. Chiefs, AFC West, you got that on lock. Right? Eagles, NFC East, you got that on lock. So it's not a coincidence that a lot of y'all are representing your teams that should be number one in your divisions, and not only number one last year, but number one this year and years beyond. Because I still think the Redskins, are going to grow. The Cowboys are going to grow. The Saints, it's their division to lose with the Bucks, looking up at them. I ain't no dummy. You know what I mean? I'm just hoping that they have a good season, and if I can be ahead of the Panthers and the Falcons, let's start there first. You know, I don't mind. And you can still get to the playoffs at a number 2 in the division, so I don't need to win the division. You know, the Saints obviously have made some great moves with Emmanuel Sanders. I like what they're doing. And as far as the Eagles compared to the Cowboys, Redskins, and the Giants, I think that they've really established themselves as the smartest team in the NFC East. They have been for a few years. They got good management. They got good coaching. I really like where they're going with Dougie P. The only downside with the Eagles is letting Frank Reich go. You already knew that you weren't going to be able to keep a guy like that, but look what he's doing on the Colts. You know, he's starting to make a name for them, and I love that. You know, I mean, that coaching tree and looking for those pieces that can really pan out. Odin's Child, $20 donation. Thank you so much. NFL best fits for remaining free agents with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy like Odin's Child did, $20, either on here or through patreon.com/NWSF. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on our YouTube page. You can also go to the GoFundMe and make a donation there. We had a $50 donation yesterday on there, which was great. So Cam Newton, Chargers, Patriots. I mean, I'm not sure if either of those are going to take a swing at Cam Newton. It might be a surprise team that's in the mix. Clowney, you know, if Clowney was smart, he would just stay with the Seahawks for less money. But I know that he wants money. He wants the cheddar. He wants the bread. So if he wants to go to the Jets and go to a shitty team, then that's on him. Jameis, the Steelers, New England, the Chargers. But, you know, obviously if you have Tyrod Taylor, he don't turn the ball over. So I'd rather go Tyrod Taylor than, you know, Jameis Winston. And then if you're bringing in, you know, a Justin Herbert to learn with Tyrod Taylor, that sounds a little bit better to me. Ben Roethlisberger and having Jameis underneath him. You know, you need to have a team that has some, you know, stability, someone that, you know, can hold him accountable. But I don't see Jameis Winston being a starter in this league. I really don't. Way too many turnovers. He hasn't shown that he's grown with maturity. Yeah, he got an eye test, and he got the LASIK, right? But that doesn't tell me that he's not going to throw a bunch of picks and make dumbass decisions still. You know what I mean? But the Steelers could be a spot, or it could be a surprise team as well. Everson Griffin, one of the best edge rushers that's available. I know the Browns have been in the mix, and then, you know, him and Myles Garrett kind of having a 1-2 tandem like him and Danielle Hunter did with the Vikings. Obviously, Saints fans remember that. It wasn't pretty. So we'll see where he goes if he jumps from the NFC to the AFC. I know some people would be excited to see him there. Logan Ryan, you know, going to the Vikings obviously could make sense there. Trey Waynes, Xavier Rhodes, Mackenzie Alexander. You know, they definitely have a lot of holes to fill, the Vikings. And then they're obviously losing Stephon Diggs. So there'll be some interesting pieces there. Winston backup for Jets. Well, at that point, Sam Darnold doesn't turn the ball over, but, I mean, who's better than – I mean, is Winston better than Sam Darnold, or is Sam Darnold better than Winston? I mean, Winston maybe has more talent right now, today, than Sam Darnold, but Sam Darnold doesn't turn over the football, so they would probably lean towards, you know, the draft pick, even though maybe Jameis is more physically gifted at this point. Cam going to be the new Taysom. Who knows? Demarius Randall, Redskins possibly. Jason Peters, you know, leaving the Eagles. That could be maybe the Browns or a few other teams. Carlos Hyde, I know Tampa Bay Buccaneers have been kind of in the mix, but personally I don't really want him. I'm not interested, you know, in Carlos Hyde. I mean, if you want to be there with Rojo, and then if I get like a draft pick, you can go that route as well. But the big one for me, right, the big one, Ndamukong Suh, expected to return and did. 1 year, $8 million. So JPP, right, Shaq Barrett, Ndamukong Suh, Devin White, Levante David. It's looking kind of nice. Tom Brady on the other side, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans. We still need offensive line. We still need a star running back. We still need secondary help. But things are starting to come together. He said Michael Pittman to the Bucks. Nah. He said, I think Dare will be good next year. So we'll see where he goes. But Suh on the line for me is huge, even though it's a 1 year deal, because I need to be able to have that pressure up front. And if I can get my defense with some pass rush where I only need to rush 3, rush 4, that's really going to make things interesting, not only in the NFC South, but in the NFC altogether. One of the deals, ex-Saint safety Von Bell. Crazy. I really want Von Bell. I really wish Von Bell would have stayed, you know, but it is a business. The Saints safety, Von Bell, signed with the Bengals. He turned 25 in December. Drafted second round of Ohio State, the Ohio State University. How old is Lavonte David now? 64. Hey, he could be 64, 74, 84. You can't tell me he's not one of the most underrated linebackers in the league. I mean, if you look at his stats and you look at his skill set, he's not that bad. I mean, he's my favorite player on the Bucs. I know you're a Saints fan, you know what I mean? But he's my favorite player on the defense. I'm a linebacker guy. Derek Brooks is my all-time favorite player, but my favorite player on the roster is Lavonte David. I watched him at Nebraska. I watched him obviously blossom into the career that he's having here, and now with some help around him, he's going to be able to shine even more, and I'm excited for that. Jets linebacker Patrick Onwuasor agreed to a one-year deal. Dak Prescott resumes contract talks. He's one of your favorite players on the Bucs? Okay, because, there's nothing you can say bad about Calvin Griffin, about Lavonte David. He is a class act on and off the field, period. He's one of the most consistent pieces, on and off the field. And I like that because, you got to be able to have those guys that are good guys off the field, guys that are going to be an example for the younger crowd moving forward, and that's important. All right, let's go here. I'm going to keep scrolling forward and see what else that we have. So give me one sec. Sue stomped on Rodgers. Yeah, he did. He's one of the dirtiest players in the game, but at that point, you still want to be able to have, a big piece up front that still can play. And that's big facts. He still has some game in him left. And I definitely would have been losing something there. Because Vita Vea, I haven't really been able to count on him, and that's big facts there. He got injured, and we don't really know what kind of player he's going to be. So Dak Prescott, they're resuming the contracts. Are they going to be able to get him done? Who knows? Nickel Roby-Coleman, a nice pickup for you from the Rams. Ankle issue holding the defensive lineman Michael Brocker's deal with the Ravens. They started to make some nice moves, obviously with Calais Campbell. But we'll have to see if that goes through. Redskins wide receiver Cody Latimer reached an agreement on a deal. I'm not sure really what you're going to get from him and the Redskins. Marcus will let you know if he likes that or not. Steelers signed D-tackle Kayvon Walker, Jaron Jones, and Tyree Kinnell. And that's a good majority of the news. Yeah, Von Bell's really going to hurt. You know what I mean? He's one of those staples, one of those guys that you really could count on, week in and week out. But like I said, it is a business, so you're not going to be able to keep everybody, year to year. But he was one of those guys that was like a name that you always would recognize with that secondary. But they'll be looking at the draft and free agency. They'll be able to see what they can do moving forward. Clowney going to NOLA with that $18 million they got. Shit, I think he wants more than that. Clowney's one of those guys, he wants to get paid, and he wants to get paid large. If he's willing to go to the fucking Jets over the Seahawks or some of these other teams, and the crazy thing is I know, just switching subjects here briefly, with Clowney being a good pass rusher, right? But with Sue, they were talking with the Niners and the Ravens. Could you imagine Sue on the Niners or Sue on the Ravens? Thank God he decided to come back, at least for my sake, for a Buccaneer fan, that at least I got him to be able to stay home for one more year and link up with Tom, because obviously he sees something there. We don't know how deep they're going to go, but there's something there. And as we go back another day on Monday, let's take a quick look here. Peyton going to regret, let's see what here. Peyton going to regret letting him go back and get Malcolm Jenkins. Bad angle, take an ass. Anti, what to do, my guy? Appreciate you. Chiefs decide third-rated XFL quarterback, Jordan Ta'amu, right? So he had a pretty good season for the XFL, for the St. Louis Battlehawks. So the Chiefs get their little backup to Patrick Mahomes. Travis Frederick announces retirement. Another guy, under 30, 29 years old. Obviously he had the issues, with the medical condition, and he still ended up, kind of making a name for himself last season, but there was too much pain, so they're going to have to look for someone else there at that position at center. Let's see here. Seahawks acquire corner Quentin Dunbar. I don't really know if he's got that much game left. I'm not too thrilled with that. Cornerback Jimmy Smith re-signing with the Ravens. I like that move. Giants land running back Dion Lewis a couple days ago on a one-year deal. So another Patriot player going to the Giants. What's new? Redskins release Monte Nicholson after 3 seasons. No surprise there. Jets re-up with Jordan Jenkins, linebacker. Saints signed cornerback safety Dietrich Nichols from XFL Roughnecks. So After P.J. Walker agreed to terms with the Carolina Panthers earlier on Monday, the Saints got in on the action by signing DB Deatrick Nichols per Nichols' agent. Most recently played in the NFL in 2018, appearing in 2 games for the Cardinals. We'll see if he can make a roster spot there. Patriots will release kicker Stefan Gostkowski after 14 seasons, which is crazy. He's been a staple there. Redskins get quarterback Kyle Allen in a trade with the Panthers. Is that surprising? I don't know. You got to think. So you got Dwayne Haskins there. You got Kyle Allen there. So obviously Chase Young is going to be the number 2 pick. They are not going to be going for Tua. You're not going to keep stacking chips there. Orion, thoughts on Troy Pride Jr.? It's a good question. I'll get to that in just a second. Source wide receiver Corey Coleman returning to the Giants. P.J. Walker signing with the Panthers. Bears linebacker Barkevious Mingo agreed to a 1-year deal. Remember him? He used to be good on LSU years ago. Hasn't really panned out. And then that's pretty much it as we go back. Brian Hoyer going back to the Patriots. Pierre Desir joins the Jets a day after the Colts cut him and let him go. Saints get safety DJ Swearinger on a 1-year deal. So, I mean, just going back, and we obviously saw Big Play Slay going to wear number 24 to honor Kobe. So we're going to see a lot of movement, and there's still a lot of pieces to be able to, Sean Alexander rumbling and a bumbling against the Steelers on the TV. NFL best fits for remaining free agents with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy like Odin's Child did. Who will be the next to donate? YouTube didn't even give me my money this month, which is unfortunate from last month. So obviously, even though I'm working, with the blue-collar physical labor job, anything helps. So I imagine what they're going to do is they're going to carry that over, what they owe me from last month to this month, but which means I'm not going to get anything from YouTube until probably April 20th, 420, or April 21st. So that's a little unfortunate there, since I didn't get the notification on my phone. I'm not sure if that has to do with the coronavirus or anything that's going on, but that was a little unfortunate. Even it wasn't going to be a big one compared to maybe the NFL season, YouTube donations that we were getting, but every dollar counts. And when you're kind of banking on something to come in through YouTube and it doesn't, it definitely was a little unfortunate. But at that point, next month it should be a little bit bigger, and we'll have to kind of see what happens with our president. And if we end up getting this $1,000, $1,200, I know they're going to be helping small businesses out, but what about the everyday folk? What about you, me, and everyone else in the chat? Are we going to get our checks cut in the mail? I mean, I could definitely use it. I'll tell you that right now. So we'll see. $1,200 per person is what they're saying, but will it really happen? I won't believe it until I see it in my mailbox. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? And so we're going to have to kind of wait and see. But I hope everyone is doing great. And going Troy Pride Jr., Odin Child, you let me know. What do you think about that? It's not a big name, you know what I mean? And sometimes, I saw it did pass, sometimes big names, 420 show, Cottonmouth Kings playing in the background. Hey, I might be able to make it happen. Your part-time job closed. I want my check. Hey, Shrick, I feel you. I mean, right now I did the tire job, right? Remember that? So I did that. That was tough, physical labor, outside. And, having to pick up, 40 to 70 pound tires. Some of them were lighter, 10 to 20 pounds, but a lot of them were like 50, 60, 70 pounds, water inside, so they were even heavier. That made me bleed. That made me bruised up. I didn't like that job at all. Then, going to the mattress warehouse, for a couple days, and that was brutal. Walking like 11 miles on my first day. I was like, couldn't walk. I'm still putting icy hot on my knees and my legs, and still taking Advil, after that. That was like last week, and I'm still taking Advil almost every day, and I don't like taking, Advil or Tylenol. I don't really like taking that stuff. But, just to make sure that I can do this warehouse job now, with the, fishing tackle, the lures, the poles, it's a little bit lighter of equipment to either be in shipping and receiving, bubble wrap, boxes, or picking and kitting, going from aisle to aisle and, picking orders for people across the country that are, ordering fishing, things for, to go out and kind of spend this time, where people are not working. But a lot of walking. I mean, I'm walking 5, 6, 7, 8 miles a day in this warehouse. So it's tough. It's tough. My body is not definitely used to this grind of walking around and, doing this type of work. But, eventually I'll have to get used to it. Hopefully I won't have to have to do this too long, but I mean, it sounds like I'll be able to continue working through the temp agency. Hopefully they'll be able to give me a full-time job, but if not, I'll just be able to do this job for as long as until maybe this coronavirus kind of blows over, and then maybe I can get a desk job, something a little bit more that I'm used to. ESPN needs to give Ryan a job. Damn right. So damn Ryan, both my jobs still going, and I want a break. Hey, I bet. At some point, hey, Vice Channel, ESPN, Fox Sports, if I keep grinding, I mean, we're about 8 years in. I know that ESPN and Fox Sports and a lot of the channels, they know who we are. They know who me and Marcus are, based off our videos. I mean, you can type in any football matchup, Redskins, Cowboys, and you're going to see our videos there. So they obviously know, with the catchphrases, it's just a matter of time of just grinding, working hard, and then who knows, NFL Network. Speaking of Vice Channel, that's where I would rather go than Fox Sports 1, ESPN. NFL Network would be definitely number one, but number two, Vice Channel. And I'm not sure if anyone is a wrestling fan like me and Odin's Child. Did you see the Chris Benoit Vice Channel special? Did you see that? They had that, I think, debuted, was it like last night? And wow, the whole Chris Benoit story on Vice Channel, I recommend. If anyone has not seen it, please watch it if you're a wrestling fan. I mean, it really goes over the connection of not only Chris Benoit, but Eddie Guerrero, Chavo Guerrero. I mean, it is amazing. It's just one of those things where, God, it really touches you. Dark Side of the Ring, Season 2, Episode 1. Please, I recommend watching it if you're a hardcore wrestling fan like myself. It's 2 hours long, worth every penny. It's free. You can just go on there, check out your DVR. Latino Heat! But Chavo, obviously they didn't have Eddie talk because, Eddie passed away. But Chris Jericho's on there. Chavo's on there. Vicky Guerrero, his wife's on there. You're getting a little wide range of the people that were really... Dean Malenko is on there. So a lot of the guys that came up together, Dean Malenko, Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit, and I always love those three. We lie, we cheat, we steal. And they were undersized, but if you look at the wrestling technique and just how awesome the presence they were with Eddie and Chris Benoit. Eddie was awesome on the mic as a character and his wrestling skill. Chris Benoit, obviously with everything that happened with him, obviously if he killed his wife or, obviously his son and then himself. All right, the Eddie Guerrero death, it'll show you really what it meant to him to have a best friend and have someone that it was so tight and connected with him. And when he lost Eddie, it definitely made his life spiral. But as far as intensity and as one of the most intense wrestlers and guys that gave 150% every time they wrestled, that's Chris Benoit. And I know a lot of people, have bad things to say about him with everything that happened, with the deaths and whatnot. But if you're looking from just a wrestling standpoint, he was one of my favorites, The Canadian Crippler, you know what I mean? He was just awesome, and I watched him early on from back in the day. Dean Malenko was Mr. Technical, the man of 1,000 moves, you know what I mean? So I definitely recommend, if you have not seen it, Dark Side of the Ring, Season 2, Episode 1, 2 hours long, the Chris Benoit story, amazing. And I even talked about it, and Vice Channel retweeted my comment and tagged me in it and stuff, which was kind of cool. I absolutely love any type of wrestling specials come out, depending on if they're on Vice Channel, on Netflix, whatever the platform is. But definitely recommend checking that out. What do I think? Javon Hargrave's fit on the Eagles. Well, coming from the Steelers, Rabid Wolverine. There you go, Calvin Griffin, Canadian Crippler. I love it because the thing is he wasn't a big name on the Steelers, but now going to the Eagles right next to Fletcher Cox, being able to run wild and not really have any restrictions on his game, anything that he gives you, right, is going to be a bonus. You're not expecting anything, right? Like anyone that Eagles in the fan base, like, okay, Javon Hargrave, do you really have like 10 sacks, so many tackles? Like on big play Slay, there's expectations, right? But with Hargrave, there isn't any. So I mean, if he ends up giving you 5, 6, 7, 8 sacks, getting you a good amount of quality tackles, pressures, deflections, you're going to take it. So as far as what they're building on the defense, it's exciting because they really have started to hit a lot of the holes. And I know a lot of people were worried with Howie and Roseman and Dougie P. Like, what are you doing? Are you making moves? But they started to make moves a little late, maybe a little later than people expected. But I imagine they're going to make a big splash in the draft too. And if they get Ruggs, watch out. Watch out. I expect a shit ton of his deal with 3 years, $39 million. Okay, right. But I think most people, if you take the money aside, You know what I mean? He's not really one of those guys that's like Javon Curse, right? He's not like the Freak. He's not one of these, Ndamukong Suh personality and big names. So I think if, you just let him play his game, I think things will be able to play themselves out. You love the Slay trade. Did you see the contract details that released today? I did not see a lot of those. I was working all day today. So, I got off a couple hours ago, and then I ended up watching a movie with my girlfriend, and then figured I wanted to hop on and just talk football with you guys. Lenny D says Chris Benoit was a savage in the ring. Best theme song ever. Not named CM Punk's first theme song. Yeah, I agree. Damn right. Javon Curse. I bet you haven't heard that name in a while, right? So we'll see where it goes, but I am really excited to see where kind of things go in this NFL season, and we still got a lot of pieces left to be able to explore, on what's going to happen, and obviously once we get back to wrestling with fans, I'll try to do AEW. I mean, WWE has really lost me. I mean, I like NXT, but even NXT is starting to lose me too. And this was before the fans and the coronavirus and COVID-19. I mean, I'm really starting to transition very heavy, on AEW. Brody Lee, is in there. You got Matt Hardy in there. Luke Harper, a.k.a. Brody Lee. I mean, things are really starting to look nice in AEW. And things are starting to go downhill in WWE. They're starting to really lose a lot of their fans. I mean, if they think that they can just keep doing what they're doing, you can have the kids and they can buy the figures and the rings. But what's really selling the tickets and the merch and the belts are the hardcore fans like me, and Odin's Child, some of us that are a little bit older. You know what I mean? We're the ones that really make wrestling go. You know what I mean? Our generation, someone that's, 25, to 45 years old. That's really, especially from 30 to 45, kind of the OGs that, like me, that ended up watching, ECW, the Attitude Era, WCW, Rob Van Dam, Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, Ric Flair, woo, all that. You know what I mean? So we're getting to a point now where WWE, it ain't got it no more. I mean, it's really, really taking a kind of a jump off the cliff, and they don't really have a lot of new guys coming up. It's not like Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. We'll have to see where it goes. I mean, I do like Adam Cole, baby. That's the best thing that they got for him right now is Undisputed Era. But besides Undisputed Era, I mean, they don't really got a whole lot waiting in the wings, which is unfortunate. So we'll have to see where it goes. NFL best fits for remaining free agents with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy like Odin's Child did. $20. My boy, appreciate you. Free agency news. You can also donate at patreon.com/NWSF. You can also donate at our GoFundMe, www.gofundme.com. Type in NW space sports space fanatics and make a donation there if you want to help out the cause, for us to be able to get our own YouTube channel studio here in my hometown to be able to give back and make other people's dreams come true. Stop giving Brock the belt every 2 pay-per-views. Exactly. The writing sucks. The wrestling sucks. Even WrestleMania's card didn't look good to me. I mean, I would rather do AEW all day, all night. I mean, even AEW with no fans. I said maybe have lumberjacks on the outside or have some of the wrestlers in the stands. They listened. They did. And their shows on Wednesday nights. I didn't see tonight's. Right, it's still on my DVR. I didn't watch it live, but it obviously is going to be on now on my DVR. But their shows, typically with no fans, are leaps and bounds better than anything that WWE has put on. I mean, they're putting on old pay-per-views. Obviously, they put on the WrestleMania this weekend, which was kind of cool. But, I mean, they just don't know what to do anymore. You know what I mean? They're almost looking up at AEW now in the ratings, and just the fan base is really shifting. You're going to get those loyal people that are never going to give up on WWE, but at some point, you got to be able to look at their matches and look at the skits, look at the storyline, the creative. It's not looking good, especially for someone as hardcore into wrestling like me and Odin's Child, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, for me to almost feel like I'm giving up on WWE, I thought I would never say that in my entire life. I've always watched all federations, big and small. And it's just not getting to a point where, they're really carrying their brand anymore. But we'll see. We'll see where it goes. But Yeah, so I definitely recommend the Chris Benoit story. Make sure you guys watch that. Amazing documentary. I mean, I already know pretty much the ins and outs of the documentary, but it was really cool to be able to see that and obviously kind of reflect on Eddie Guerrero and how much he meant to Chris Benoit and how much Chris Benoit meant to Eddie Guerrero and the whole story kind of behind the scenes, listening to Jericho talk, one of my favorites of all time as well, on the mic and wrestling. It's not something that you typically get to see on a day-to-day basis. Nice touchdown. Jeremy Stevens from UW. Matt Hasselbeck, touchdown, Seahawks. Big Ben versus Matt Hasselbeck. Remember that year? It's on NFL Network right now. Sean Alexander, 2005. Probably should have won that Super Bowl. Big Ben didn't play very good. A lot of Hines Ward. Big Ben, didn't really play very good. Obviously in the Cardinals Super Bowl against Larry Fitzgerald and Kurt Warner, played a little bit better in that one. But in this one, he played like shit. And then there was that controversial, QB sneak on the goal line with Big Ben. So Randy versus Edge going to be the best match at WrestleMania. If there is a WrestleMania, I know they're going to be, probably transitioning into a 2-day event. But, man, I don't know. I'm really starting to lose a lot of faith in WWE. Do you think the Eagles should trade their first for Yannick or a draft or receiver? No to Yannick. He's a great player. Obviously, everyone would love to have a player like that, but he's the type of player, if he's going to complain and doesn't want to be somewhere, if he's not getting the right reps or if he's not getting what he wants, do you want him to be that player on your team in a couple years? You already got Fletcher Cox. You already got nice pieces on your defense, big play Slay, Nickel Roby. You're making moves, right? You want to be able to try to get Ruggs. Think about the impact of Carson Wentz, Mr. Walk It to him, right? Regardless of Deshaun Jackson or Alshon Jeffrey, you got Goddard, you got Ertz, Ruggs. Enough said. Think about what that's going to be like. Carson Wentz going deep to Ruggs, and he's going to be a guy like Tyreek the Freak Hill that his skill set will be able to develop year in and year out. There's going to be a big jump from year 1 to year 2 and year 2 to year 3. Right? So you got Jefferson, you got Ruggs, you got Chenault, you got a lot of these other guys that are going to be like 3, 4, 5 with Judy and CeeDee Lamb at the top. But how long before Ruggs catches up to Jerry Judy and CeeDee Lamb? It may be sooner than people think, especially with that speed. Do I think Ruggs will be there at 21? No, more than likely not. That's why you're going to have to trade up. You're going to have to try to, maybe your comp picks, maybe trade your first and a comp pick, one of your third round comp or a fourth round comp and try to trade up. Maybe about 6 spots, but I think you're going to want to try to grab him somewhere between, 14 and 18. I think that's, because based off that speed, there was no one else faster, and you got to think what the Eagles are lacking is that deep threat. Deshaun Jackson isn't the same player anymore. So if you want to be able to withstand the Cowboys and the Redskins and the Giants, you guys can already do that now with the roster that you have. But Ruggs, that could give you a brand new Deshaun Jackson. You know what I mean? Imagine that hype. Remember when Deshaun Jackson was on the Eagles? Like him and Shady McCoy and Jeremy Maclin, remember? Before Chip Kelly came in and fucked it all up. But then it ended up working out because then you ended up getting Carson Wentz and then Nick Foles. You guys ended up winning a Super Bowl. But remember when you ended up having all that speed? It's time for that to happen again. That's the best pick. You don't need Yannick personally. Yeah, you can draft receivers back to back. But, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, we'll have to see what he does, from last year to this year. But, trading up, even if you had to give up your second, if Ruggs is the next Tyreek the Freak Hill, it wouldn't really matter. You know what I mean? You want to make sure you get someone solid that you can work with your team. You know what I'm saying? And I know you want to keep your second, but would you rather have 2 guys that are, above average wide receivers in the first and second, and then maybe one gets hurt and tears an ACL and then it's done, right? Or you make a gamble and you trade up and you get Ruggs and he ends up being the next Tyreek Hill. Imagine Tyreek the Freak Hill on your team, on the Eagles, the impact that he would have on the team. You know what I mean? That's like going from 9 wins to like 11 wins or 12 with a player like that. You feel me? Saquon versus Kamara, who you got on your team? Well, I'm a big Kamara guy just because he's got a chip on his shoulder, right? But Saquon is a better player. He's a better running back. He got drafted higher. He's more of a genetic freak. He's like a LeBron James at the running back position, right? Kamara was injured, but he played great, as considering he was like on one leg, 75% or worse the whole season. 3 years, 3 Pro Bowls. But the thing is, I know some of the Saints fans were saying, maybe we should get rid of him. Maybe we should trade him away. But I'm not sure if you really want to put Kamara in the same category as Saquon or Zeke Elliott, because some of those other guys are top tier. But I feel with Kamara, what really separates him from some of the other running backs in the NFL is being drafted in the 3rd or 4th round. No one has any expectations for you at all, right? But it also shows you he may not be just ready yet to be the lead back, right? Because you had him and Mark Ingram, lightning, thunder, lightning. But then when you had Latavius Murray come in, it wasn't the same. I mean, I know Kamara got hurt, right? But he doesn't really give you, I feel, that confidence that he can last a whole season, especially if Murray's the one backing him up. Because Mark Ingram is leaps and bounds better than Latavius Murray, right? And you definitely miss that dynamic with those two. To me, Kamara is more of a 2. Like, Mark Ingram was the starter. Kamara is the guy that could kind of come in on 3rd down, screen pass, kind of do some trickery, come in there. But giving him that lead back role, I think it kind of tired him out, and that's why he ended up getting hurt. He wasn't used to the reps and the carries. Still love him, you know what I mean? But I think comparing Saquon to Kamara is not really fair, you know what I mean? Because Saquon is like a genetic freak. I mean, I'm not sure if there's anyone really on Saquon Barkley's level if he's healthy throughout a full season. I mean, Zeke, and there's a few others that are very top tier at that running back position. But I always root for AK-41, the alien. You know what I mean? I love him. And I think the Saints are a great fit for him. And that's just being honest. Justin Jefferson and Jalen Higa. Anti says, I really want Ruggs. Damn right you do. Watch the tape on him. That's my favorite player. He ain't going nowhere. Yeah, he ain't going nowhere. AK-41, and he'll have something to prove this season too, and there'll be hopefully less pressure on him if he can be healthy, less reps, a little bit more for Murray. Now you got Emmanuel Sanders, not as many throws, they can't guard Mike. Spread out the offense a little bit more, and then, I think things will be better for the Saints, but you still got to address the O-line. Right guard, Andrew Speed ain't the one. You definitely got to address, Von Bell's departure at safety. So there's still some holes on the offensive line and the safety position, and the defense in general. But B-Doc is the greatest Eagle of all time, or maybe Reggie White. Yeah, I'd probably go Reggie White based off, everything that he accomplished. But as far as safeties in general are concerned, I mean, I love Dawkins. He's one of my favorites of all time. You could put him up there, with hard-hitting John Lynch, Ed Reed, Troy Polamalu, all in that same, kind of era where those are like the 4 that really dominated, that made a name for themselves. Hard-hitting safeties with the ability to get interceptions from time to time. Absolutely love those guys. And obviously Reggie played with the Packers too and helped them, get the ring as well, with Brett Favre. So, but both are amazing players, and that's big facts. So NFL best fits for remaining free agents with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics free agency news as well. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy either on here, like Odin's Child did, $20, or patreon.com/NWSF, as well as the GoFundMe. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on our YouTube page. It's Wednesday. I'm hoping that I can, come back on the live stream tomorrow. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, I'm about to probably end the live stream here because I only wanted to go for about a half hour to an hour. My girlfriend is still sick and decided to go to the living room to give me some opportunity to live stream. So I'm probably going to end the live stream now, just to be able to let her come back in here and get some rest. But I will more than likely be back tomorrow or Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm going to try to keep pumping out as many live streams as possible as long as I don't feel... as long as I got the energy to do it, I'm definitely going to do it. Appreciate that, Odin's Child. Everyone be safe out there. Wash them hands. Appreciate you guys. I love you guys. And then as soon as some more news breaks, as soon as I get home, I'll probably be getting home, 4 or 5 o'clock my time, and I'll probably try to live stream again. Peace out, man. I'll try to live stream around the same time, sometime around 7:30 my time. So it'll be probably 10:30 your time. If you guys are on the East Coast, maybe a little bit sooner, depending on when I get home and what's going on. But I appreciate you guys very much. NFL best fits for remaining free agents and free agency news with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. And I got one question for you real quickly before I get into the question. Odin's Child, $20. Appreciate the donation. Love you guys. Lenny D, Odin's Child, everyone that's been in the building, everyone that's commented. Tess, the best moderator in the business. Young Nola in the building. Lenny D, like I mentioned, all y'all, Calvin Griffin. Appreciate all you guys very much. Have a great rest of your night, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. And make sure you guys be safe. Wash them hands. Things are crazy out there. And I got one question for you. Who you know talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Take care, guys. I'll see you guys very soon. I love you guys. Peace.